Hello, everybody. Today, we are going to be playing and potentially beating Tears of the Kingdom. Ideally, help with beating it, because I'm not... Like, that would be an obnoxiously long dungeon for the final boss if it took us the entire night and still not even beat it. But last time, I think we mostly just went about beating the... Well, less beating, it wasn't really a temple, but getting the final sage, the Sage of Spirit, Minoru. And now we have, I guess, her vow of mech technology. Still hilarious that we fought Koga, and then the very next stream ran into being on the receiving end of being forced into barbed wire electricity death matches. Finally, it only took training up with 2 entire Xenoblades, but finally ready to face the Demon King. We fought, like, multiple gods. Through Xenoblade, we can take down a Demon King, but there's one thing I want to try. I want to see if we can actually fuse a thing onto the Demon King blade, the Gloom Blade, because... for some reason, I just never thought to try that. Also hilarious that it just took... It'd be hilarious if, like, now it no longer does Gloom, because it's mostly Bokoblin, but probably not. This is the Gloom Blade Santa hat of Doom. But today, we are going to try and see if we can beat Ganondorf, the Demon King, totally not demise, trademark copyright. Also, last time, we discovered yet another material that, I have... It took 15 streams, and I have to find my first Sage's Will. I didn't know this was a thing, and I can only imagine that, like, they're only found on Sky Islands. If only they put, like, a mandatory tutorial sages... Well, no, they couldn't have done that because you need to get a sage. Well, maybe they could have put, like, at least one sage's will in each of the, like, temples or something. To be like, hey, this is a thing. And be like, oh, I wonder where they are. But yeah, I can only assume that they're in Sky Islands because I have not, like, ventured around Sky Islands all that much. And I only ever found one of these on my way... over here, in the Farron Skies. I think I found it, like, literally around here. So, like, no idea what the Sage's Will does! Like, let's actually read it again. Deepen your connection with the Sages. Not sure if that, like... Do you know how painful it would be if it's just like, oh yeah, if you did the Sage's Will, you could, like, upgrade Tulin's power to do the Rivali's Gale. That would be painful. Gotta promote you exploring in the exploring game. Which is funny because in my, like, preliminary script for a Breath of the Wild, like, essay video, I'll probably have to cut a bunch of stuff so it's not a long ramble, but I was just like, I defend the 900 Korok seeds, because they want even casual players to at least get a few Korok upgrades. And then I find a Sage's Will, I'm just like, where the fuck have you been this entire time? I think all it does is cool down their power faster, and that's really all. Which, given how awkward they are to use, isn't too important, yeah. By the time that you track down Yunobo during a combat, he'll be fully recharged anyway. But yeah, last time we finally went up into... the ring ruins that we weren't allowed to because evil Zelda said no, but then we discovered she was evil, so we could. And then Calip and Taro ran to the jungle place because I knew, like, when I heard that Zonai were important in Tears of the Kingdom, and these were, like, the Zonai ruins, I'm like, oh, I wonder how this is gonna play into things. And they did, which is kind of neat. But I guess before I totally forget, let's go ahead and upgrade the other Gloom swords, just in case. just in case. This way, I just have them on hand, more powerful, my last resort. I also should have... I have two more. I have two more, like, last ditch I can fight off the... Yeah, excuse me. My throat is abandoning me. But the last resort anti-gloom stuff, I'll probably do my attack up heal before that. But then again, that would also be... I don't know. Because this is going to be the final fight, we're probably going to be going up against a dude that does a bunch of gloom damage. So using the gloom blades might not be a good idea at all. It's really interesting how the Zonai architecture of Breath of the Wild is vastly different in Breath of the Wild. It's probably because it's like, oh, the Zonai architecture on the ground versus the Zonai architecture in the sky. So it's probably just, like, different things. Like, the ones made on the ground were probably not maintained as well. Because, like, the Zonai architecture also got hit by multiple calamities, considering I'm fairly certain Demon King Ganondorf came before Calamity Ganon, so the Imprisoning War happened, and so, like, very limited Zonai architecture on the ground. The Zonai ruins are probably the last ruins made by the Zonai. Or, like, maybe they're even more ancient than the Sky Islands, maybe. Like, the Sky Island ones are the more maintained and new, while the ones on the ground were made by the really far-off Zonai. Who knows? Lots of lore! Thing is, from cutscenes, it's implied they weren't always on the ground. Yeah, they was raised into the sky. Yep. Because it could either be... It's either that since the Zonai ruins were on the ground, they degraded a lot more, and maybe like, oh hey, we're on the ground with the people, let's make like Zonai architecture with the Hyrule people. And, which... Like, I guess we really shouldn't be thinking about it too much, considering we also have to go like, oh yeah, good thing that all the Sheikah technology didn't find all the Zonai ruins. But enough rambling, let us talk to Purah and say, hey, we found the last sage, the Sage's Spirit. We got into a boxing match. So, did you find any clues at the Zonai ruins in Faerun about our elusive 5th Sage Minoru? Did a whole thing.
What?
The Sage's Spirit was revived? This is incredible! That means we have the 5 sages! Fantastic work, Link!
But what about the 6th sage? We don't have Zelda.
I can't believe this is actually one of the sages who faced off against the Demon King alongside Princess Zelda. And now we have news about the princess. There's some relief in that, at least. So, in the ancient past, Princess Zelda worked to restore the decayed Master Sword and return it to your hand.
Which I already have it.
Trusting that you would defeat the Demon King in the present day. She did so much, all on her own.
What?
The Master Sword was...
The Master Restored.
The Master Sword was restored, you say? Were you planning on telling me?
I could have told you at any time. You weren't listening.
And it was found in the head of a white dragon of all places. That's hard to believe. However, this was Princess Zelda's wish. One she believed in so strong that she gave her life to see it through. For us, thank you for finding the sword, Link. I have to say, you really don't look quite yourself unless you got the Master Sword at your side.
Check it.
Now then, it seems you have all you need. You're prepared to face our enemy.
I love Minoru, but I still half wish Purah had become the Sage's Spirit. I feel it would have been apt given how present she is in the story. That's true. But at the same time, maybe they were like, hey, we kind of have a Zonai character in the past. Let's make them kind of important, even if they're at the end and not in the story much. Link, head empty. He doesn't say jack shit unless explicitly asked. Either that, unless he's roasting someone. This Link is kind of a gremlin, just with a stone face. The gremlin with a resting bitch face.
We need to determine where the Demon King is lurking.
Have you thought the biggest chasm right underneath Hyrule Castle, where we found him last time?
It seems unlikely he'd still be in Hyrule Castle.
He wasn't in the castle. He was underneath it.
Can't think of any place he'd be here on the surface. That must mean... That's it, the depths!
Yeah, where we found him. There is no way in hell that he was at the very, I guess, like, tippity bottom of the floating castle. Like, we been knew, Purah.
Well, wouldn't you say there's a high probability that he's in the depths?
Considering that he was still unmoisturized, I don't think he's ever left.
Do what you think is best, of course, but my suggestion is to ask Joseph for any info she may have on.
I thought there would be more.
Have on the depths. She's enthusiastic about investigating the depths, so I'm sure she'd be happy to help out. Whoa, so the Demon King is in the deepest reaches of the depths, far beneath Hyrule Castle.
Is it because I went through all of the Master Koga fights, and if I didn't, Joshua would have been able to be like, oh, you should do this, and head there. Meant to be your prompting to go find Koga if you haven't. Luckily, I found Koga from starting Joshua's quests, and then just hunted him relentlessly 2 streams ago, and had a boxing match.
As usual, you're one step ahead of me, Link.
It'd be hilarious if I just, like, went through everything and didn't talk to Pearl once, and she's like,
What am I even here for? Why didn't you tell me anything? And you look so calm and collected despite what you were up against. You navigated the depths, which are incredibly dangerous and home to all sorts of nasty creatures. Not to mention all the gloom down there. It must have been a very challenging investigation, and yet you did it. Thank you, Link, so much. Joshua turned out to be pretty capable, eh?
even though we haven't talked to her in, like, 1 billion years. We haven't talked to Joshua in so long. We only checked in on Robbie because Taro's just like, you could maybe get something from Robbie. He's like, will Robbie have something new? No, just stuff I didn't care about. From Twitch chat, hello, hello, hello. We are beginning the potential end.
That kid was working tirelessly to gather information. She wanted to be of use to you. Make sure you let her know her help was valuable, yeah? With this, preparations are complete. Now our target is the deepest reaches of the depths, beneath Hyrule Castle. Of course, I'll let all the sages know right away when you head to face the Demon King. You're not alone in this. Princess Zelda's final wish. Please hit the Demon King right in the face for me.
Will Dragon Zelda, like, swarm into the depths and help us kick his ass? I think that'd be funny.
Hi, swordsman. Welcome back. You look like you're in a good mood. Did you discover something?
I discovered lots of things. I haven't been in touch with you. My bad.
Wow, you defeated Koga? I don't think we've even talked about him.
Well, no, because I think we checked back in on her after we fought Koga the first time after getting our replicator powers.
Well, of course you did. You're the swordsman. So, did he have any clues about Princess Zelda?
Nope, just clues about the Demon King.
Oh no, nothing, huh? Well, even so, that's one less danger for the princess. I'm not even surprised you did all this. You're the swordsman. I'll be hard at work with my research into the depths, so just come on by and let me know if you find anything, swordsman.
Do you know anything about the depths underneath Hyrule Castle?
Doc praised my work. Because of my research, you were able to locate the Demon King. Really? Wait, the Demon King. You mean like the Demon King? Not just any old Demon King, but the Demon King?
Oh.
Wow, the Demon King! So anyway, the Demon King might hold the answer regarding Princess Zelda's whereabouts.
We already know about that. We pulled a sword from her head. Did we not tell Purah that? She did kind of be like, it was Princess Zelda's final wish, but maybe she just thinks that Zelda died in the past. Who knows?
Obviously, I'm not allowed into the depths myself, being a kid and all, but I want to continue to help out, even if I can't go. I've really poured my heart into researching the depths, and all the work really paid off. I'm so happy I put my all into this. Thank you for telling me, swordsman.
Well, guess the last thing is to head in to the depths. We don't need no doors. From YouTube chat. Funny thing, you could have found Minoru earlier if you was determined enough. People have traversed the Thunder Sky Islands blind, so Link can be like, "Oh, literally found all this already." That's funny. Oh yeah, and this is the first time we That is very, very physical. Not very Shadow Clone, it's just literally her construct. Mineru's vow has granted you the power to summon her construct. Which means literally summoning her. Now I have a whole posse to annihilate people with. But that is funny. That you can just... I guess it well, I guess it depends, because I'm not sure how much the, like, Thunderstorm blocks your access to the Thunderstorm Isles. Because you can't do the first part of the quest of get the garments, activate the thunder lightning poles to disperse the clouds. No shadow clones, just mech. Ah, so this is Mecha Naruto. We've got filler in here. The filler came back in the finale. You know, I just realized I probably could have just teleported to the shrine on the castle and then dive down, but this is more cinematic. Roll it up with my posse. I like that all the vows, like, created a formation around me. That's so cool. Because I don't think I've walked on a large path with all the vows before. I've just, like, kind of focused on looking around. So just having the whole of all of us. We're a platoon here to kick ass. Mineru is such a good, useful weapon in the depths, given how she works. Yep, she's like, allows you to walk over gloom. Tulin is the best for traversal, but Mineru is all around the best, I think. Like, all-terrain Mineru. Up we go. Once again, I'm reminded of, like, there has to be kind of, like, fanfic novelizations of Tears of the Kingdom, where they're like, instead of a vow, the people, like, the sages actually come along with you on your journey. Basically, the Phantom Ganon fight, but for real, for the entire game. Huh. Didn't realize that when the castle, like, rose, it, like, actually brought, like, a decent chunk of the ground with, like, I thought it would end, like, in a spike right there, but it just kept going. Oh, because that's probably the light route. Because all of the shrines dig into the depths and be a light route. Man. Took me a moment because it was so covered in the darkness and literally, well, at least I think it has to be the light route to dig into the depths. I forget if I brought any glowy glow, like elixirs or anything. This feels off. Being able to come all the way down here, yet still see the light. The castle did have a ton of weird Sheikah chambers below it in Breath of the Wild. That's true. But at the same time, all the Sheikah chambers, like, disappeared. So I wonder if I went the wrong way and... like, I actually did have to go, like, through the castle and fall down a tube instead. Yeah, speaking of, there is a light route down here, so you might want to find it. Pretty sure you plummeted past it by a large margin. I thought it was just like, come down to the bottom. I wasn't expecting... Oh. Darn. This is not that steep to require that kind of exertion. No, that doesn't look like destroyable. Odd. I thought we'd just go down to the bottom, but apparently not. In that case, let's do it again! Run it back!
Let's dive a little bit smarter this time.
You're in the right place, it's just you're blind right now. I don't think I was blind. There was a lot of light, I just didn't know which way to go. And I thought that big ol', like, rock tube would have been it, but... like, would have been the light route. Let's see. Because technically this would be the right below. So I guess, So I guess the big old rock tube isn't the light route. So, I guess it kind of makes sense. Zone Ice stuff is a bit more magical than Shikatech. So, like, guess it can, like, spawn the roots even if there's not a direct connection with the ground. But then that really makes me wonder what that is, because it's not just like, oh, I'm gonna make Hyrule Castle float. No, it just rose a giant rock stick. Oh. I guess I was just, like, on the wrong side. Missed the outcropping. Again, would have thought that the light routes would have been directly connected. That was my thinking, my assumption, which was wrong. My assumption was... I probably shouldn't have thought that, because there's, shrines on Sky Islands, so obviously they can't entirely be light route connected down.
And then we return greenery to the depths. And a teleportation spot to the depths.
Oh, very helpful. But at least now we have, like, a... teleportate... For a moment there, I thought the ground was writhing. No, it was just, textures... kind of getting loaded in to a degree.
Let us see. Well, we activated that.
Okay, maybe I overestimated how much that reveals since I had all the light routes by this point. No problem. At least I would have missed this one entirely. Wait, not you. You. Use Minoru to see if there's anything down the super-duper goopy way. Still makes me wonder about those, like... these blight roots, these gloom roots. Because we kind of ran into some gloom roots. I think last time we were kind of down in the depths, so it's just like very interesting. Makes me wonder. Eh? Is that just more light? Because the way the lights are casting off the stone there kind of made me think, like, oh, is that kind of like some crisscrossed, not as thick roots that I can burn away? Seeing if there's anything I can properly tell from up here. Just kind of sort of glide down. Oh. Again, the contrast makes me go, is that a way, or is it just light casting off of things? Ah, it's a like, so boy. Even outside the light roots, the roots basically all over the depths, they span the entire thing. Makes me wonder where they all come from and where do they go. The big bwump. Silence, freak. Okay, since you're gonna take a bit to kill. Let's see, can I yeeticus this at you? I can! Get yeeted! Dang it. Granted, I don't think it reached by then. Only downside is I'm running low on arrows. Darn. Haha. Doesn't help that it kind of jingles all around. We'll just see how much we can skip them. Down these holes we go away from you. Ah. Hell. Let's quickly try to do a decent bit of damage. Very rude. How dare. Get froze while I open this chest. Don't think there's any... I guess we can swap that out. Now let's see. Where's the next which way? Because that's kind of up ways. Don't think... Well, then again. So that is the way. Excuse me, dear demons. Luckily, I have allies to take care of the keys for me. Ah, son of a bitch. Because Lionels are... very rude. Because I don't think that I've properly fought a Lionel. But I do have, like, a decent amount of ancient arrow heads. Good job. So I'm just thinking how I want to... Because obviously we want to get up there. But there's also that away. So I think that that's probably the way down we took from Hyrule Castle. Quit making noise. So obviously I think that's the way down. But I want to check out what's up there. But I also don't want to entirely not fight him. I doubt this will work. Figured it wouldn't, but I wanted to give it a try. Oh, it's distracted by my allies. Because last time... I don't have many of those. I thought I had more. Darn. Yeah, so probably shouldn't be fighting you. Darn. I was trying to think like, oh, I want to get up there. You know what? Get out of here. Because I want to try and get up there. Goes the majority of my anti-gloom. Just very rude they didn't throw this many Lionels at me in the past. Especially because I think they upgraded Lionels. Lionels were not that scary. Like, in well, they were still scary in Breath of the Wild. Just not as scary. Because... Let's see. Let's jump into... Oh, hey. Headlights. For some reason, wasn't expecting that. Because I do want to get up there, because I think there's going to be things in there. I'm starting to wonder if you should have prepped more. This is the final gauntlet after all. Well, the game should have prepped for me. Because seriously, I don't know, like, maybe they expected me to go about, Sky Islands a bit more for the, like, Super Sun Diddly-Dees, I forget what they're called. Oh, the Sun Alliance. Oh, I thought I used up all these. Worst case scenario, I probably have a Zonai cooking pot. Probably have multiple. Let's see. I have 16. Obviously, we'll be fine. Now, let's see. I want to see if I can use this rocket to get up there. Because there's no way... Well, never mind. This seems like even more hell. Because this is probably an optional path. Of course, you leave the most important one alive. Then again, it's entirely possible that you could have at least ventured down this way. Oh. They love doing this, like, they put falling blocks in them once, and they're like, oh, we want to do it all the time. Falling blocks for everybody. And then I think this leads... into a place that looks like... Well, that also looks like a falling block. So it just threw me two different falling rock areas to this way. Should look around, see if there's anything I'm missing. Nope, just falling rock area entirely. Oh. Nope. It's just like, is that a hidden, gloomified place that I'm supposed to crawl through? No. It does look like I can. Oh, dismount. For some reason, my brain finds it weird that I can't just double tap, let me leave. The B button. Hmm. Just trying to think where exactly they kind of expect me to go down here. Since they put in a falling rock, very rude. I was just like, a place that I can look over and see where things are, and the game then left. Thinking that for me daring to think that it had good faith. Do I have any more stamina? I'd have some stamina meals. Of which now we're just back here again. All the gloom just makes it really hard to tell what's where. And I don't think... I honestly don't know which way. Did you get any placeable warp points by any chance? I don't think so. I do not believe. Because I've never really had any use for them before. Because the game has plenty. And I didn't think that it would be a bastard in a dungeon. All the other dungeons are like, hey, we have a warp point for you. But apparently the game decided, you know what? It's very mean. Come on, actually fire, please. Hate that the cannon does no damage. Because I don't know. Because it almost feels like this is the optional path, because it seems like a giant pain to get up here. Like, I guess you could create, like, a bootleg... What's it called? Just fly-de-fly. Because I figured that would be the actual way down. Very rude. Why do these last around for so long? Bugger off. Leave me alone. You're very... That just hit. Game is mean. Fuck off. Double fuck off. I'm hitting things. Game, cease. Fuck off, keys. I hate the keys, no matter what. They're just annoying. Luckily we do decent damage. Cease with your ice shenanigans. Come on. It's right there and the game says, no, you don't hit. Reasonable hitboxes, what's that? Game, cease with the falling blocks. It's Twice in a row, you're just getting lazy. 'Cause I just want to look down. Makes me wonder, it's like, considering that we could, well, I guess theoretically just fall past everything, why they would put so many enemies along the way. If worse comes to worse, we can just, like, reset a save more than anything. God, there's so many enemies. The power of the sage cannot reach you. Oh boy. Get new material, game. Jesus. Stab with the fallen blocks. Since the power of the sage cannot reach me, it will be a bit painful to glide there and smack him off. Go ahead and risk that. Game. Very rude. Sayonara. Hopefully the hands don't have ranged attacks. Don't want to deal with you. Go ahead, back to... Be gone. Lots of destructible. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if this, like, led to... like, I don't know, a Hinox out for my ass. Are we now reaching to, like, where the game began, but even more deteriorated? Wouldn't be surprised if it was. Looks like it. The beginning of the game, but more gloomed. I'll go ahead and set up a portable cooking pot. And see about... I'm trying to think the best way... Just a quick question. Can the Sundelion be used for elixirs rather than food? Since it doesn't have an inherent food rating, but it does say when used in cooking. So it's probably... Actually, idea. We can just try a cool Saflina elixir. And if that doesn't work, then we'll get our answer. Let's see. If this doesn't make an elixir, we know. Good. Because my brain was just like, well, it doesn't have a food healing option. Maybe that means it can be used for either. I mean, it's a plant. Elixirs could use plants, I feel like. Although it'd be extra funny if it's just like, oh, the warm, cool Cephalina? Can't do it. Sundaline? Oh, you can, surely. I'm just trying to think what good cooking... Because we can't have, like, multiple... There we go. Oh! Only once? Very rude. What kind of cooking pot can you only use once? We'll take 2, and the ancients. Cook that up. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, have to pull out yet another one. I do like that it kind of has a rolling cooking top, where it's just like, oh, slightly unstable. We'll face top forward anyway. Oh, dang it. It moved. You're not supposed to move. Highly illegal. Big on. Lots of freaks down here, huh? Well, actually, it shouldn't be that bad. They're just Gibdos. Let's see. Unless a Gibdo, like, spawned behind me. I'm not that scared of him. Gibdos are... like, honestly, Gibdos are not that scary right now. Not as scary as they probably could be. Good thing to remind now is your to use puffrooms or pushrooms and muddle buds. Yeah, I definitely need to. Oh, because I keep forgetting those are things. I love the return of the lack for better term Zonai singing. Like, especially because it kind of reminds me of the, like, reveal trailer, where it felt like it was very prevalent. Well, now that we have Destructibles, we can see even more. Yeah, Demon King Ganon, the Master Sword. So this was all created after Zelda went. So even they knew that Zelda became a giant dragon. Come up here. Yeah, because Muddle Buds and Puffshrooms. Let's see, just... Let's see. Guess I'll have this on for... Glide over the gloom. The imprisoning chamber, which apparently is even deeper. I love that if those weren't collapsed, we'd see the murals of Zelda in the past before she went back, which means it's a stable timeline where her going back always happened. That's true, especially with the like, what's the word I'm looking for? The fact that she got Rauru's secret stone. I don't like the amount of gloom down here. So after the imprisoning chamber collapsed, he just ran further in? That also means Rauru in the past was wrong when he said things are different because she's there. That's kind of an ouch. Xenoblade Chronicles X hype. Hopefully that's not like an entire pit of gloom. Oh. That's just a bunch of darkness, the depths of hell. How that... So this is, like, the source of the gloom is, like, a gloom tree. What the hell? Oh, you missed it, but if you drop directly down, you find the torch she dropped there. Oh, I probably wouldn't even realize that either way. Hey, sage friends, I could really use your help if you were here and not Vows. But even if I saw the torch, I probably wouldn't have put two and two together. I'm gonna... Oh, great. Hey, friends. I think friends.
You don't have to fight all by yourself, you know?
You guys were right on my... right at my back, weren't you?
When we fight together, we're unstoppable!
Activate your power!
My ancestors proud to be Link. I'll fight by your side. Link, we shall protect Hyrule together.
Why was Yunobo so low on the volume?
The Gerudo owe you for your help. You can count on me.
I will atone for my past failure. It is time to stop the Demon King.
Here we go. In fact, I'll probably put on my Master Sword. Now let's see. Make them fight each other! Oh no, that's probably just a smoke screen. Very rude. Nope. Fight each other. You know, I'm kind of surprised that... Well, this is probably just the first wave of the Demon King's army, let's be honest. Oh. Quickly, you just change. We don't have much to fear right now. Look. Minoru got in my way and I couldn't lock onto the enemy. Oh, hey, arrows. Huzzah! Go ahead and muddle bud you. Pick up a bit of resources. Get out of here. Yes, chase after me. Worry not about my friends who are hunting you for sport. Oh, I missed. I am a fool. Yeah, this is only half the army. While they fight each other, just... They're a bit more fighting amongst themselves. Unless they saw me first, and they're like, no, we want to come after you. Dang it, that was close. Minoru, you're boxing me in against the enemy. That green was just slow walking at me. That was close. I think he was about to strike at me with his whip tongue. And now Moblins. From Twitch chat, howdy. How we doing today? Doing good. Little bit unprepared for the final thing, I think, but not terribly. These guys, not that scary. Oh, unless they supercharge at me. I didn't even get hit. How dare, game. I guess if I just physically touch them sometimes, they're like, yeah, you got hit. Love the music, though. Hey, I hit all three. Well, let me guess. Moblins next? Or will it be a... Yep, Moblins. Let's see. Again, love the music that's playing. Again, they're not even physically attacking me, and I just randomly get gloomed. I hate that. That's bad. How dare you try to fight your enemies, even when they're not looking at you. Those last, like, 4 Sundalines will be my saving grace unless Demon King is able to gloom me himself. Oh, that was just a door.
That gloom, it means but one thing. The Demon King is there. Huh?
Oh, why, Momo? Shit. Oh. Boss rush? I don't think I can They're gonna stay behind and fight them while I move on ahead, aren't they? Because I don't think we can handle a boss rush.
But our foe is mistaken if he thinks this will stop us.
Or maybe it'll just be cutscene to show how strong they've grown.
Don't worry about us.
Oh.
We'll take care of this, Goro.
future!
It is time, Link. The rest is up to you.
I feel like Demon King Ganon has more backup than he did before. Would be funny if it was also like, oh, if you go back and save them, you get them for the Demon King fight. Oh, if they were making me face forward. I think it would have been more thematically appropriate if they forced you to turn around after watching your friends. You get pseudo-crushed. He's been at the center of the tree this whole time, and I didn't even know it was a tree. But I guess it makes sense, like, an evil tree for the gloom roots versus the light roots. Well, that's interesting. The material form of the Master Sword was there, and then it faded to being the Master Sword. Is he slurping up the gloom? At the root of all evil. True.
This world should be shrouded in darkness, not bathed in insufferable light. All these weak, peace-loving cowards running rampant. It would have been more satisfying to overcome a worthy foe.
But I am worthy. Or did I not 100% enough things for you to consider me worthy? Your eyes of Sauron are creepy. What was all that for? Just a shower of gloom? A gloom tornado? Oh, you decided to hydrate and moisturize. Maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Any tips for killing Marbled Goma? Like, I just kind of ran around and threw Yonobo at it as much as possible.
I will reshape this world as it was meant to be.
So I don't really have any in-depth insights to fighting it.
I will rule. That is what a king must do.
A king must annihilate the world. The Minish unleashed Demon King Ganondorf.
Do not look away.
Do not read chat, he says.
You witness a king's revival. And the birth of his new world.
Well, let's see how long I survive. Hopefully he doesn't gloom me. Hey, I had that equipped anyway. Dang it. I thought I backflipped out of the way. There we go. I haven't had much use for flurry rushes. Oh, great. He glooms the area a bit. Oh, he went spear. Dang it.
Take this.
Dang it. I'm not used to dodging in this game. Dang it. Hey, at least that got me out of his wave as an attack. No gloom. Dang it. Dang it. Well, that's gonna be bad. Oh, dang it. Didn't see the... Definitely need to de-gloom. What? The game is cheating. I was hitting him, but it didn't hit.
Take this. Fall.
Oh, he can anti my shit?
Die.
Yeesh. And that's only his first form. He still has his
What a
crazy, like, main form, and then probably
the thrill of battle.
a big form.
Blood surges in my
I can only imagine he has something beyond his drained,
near
like, uber power.
limits of my power.
And I don't have any gloom. Anti-gloom. Yep, there we go. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! It didn't stop! Why?
Enjoy these fun moments. I will be taking far more than you're on this time.
I think I'm doomed. Okay, need a new...
I'll deal with all at once.
I'll fight that Demon King.
I'm being... I wonder, can this affect him? Nope.
All right.
Dang it. And I have no anti-gloom. Stop it! Leave me alone! I can't anti your gloom. Fuck off.
Let's take him down together.
Genuinely, fuck off.
It's time to finish
I-
him off, Link.
At least I... Oh, it doesn't even do much. Game... I would say, let me lock onto the one that is... Dang it. Double dang it, leave me alone. Let me anti your gloom. Bullshit. Can't even focus on his clones because he's just always on my ass. God damn it, leave me alone. I can't anti your gloom. It's not fun, dude. Game. Would be nice if I could lock on to the guy who is charging right at me. I wish I could, like, focus on his minions. But he just kept coming at me. Luckily, I have, like, 5 fairies. Trying to use 2 of them. I need to eat my super damage attacks. Now that he swallowed his clones, all my friends can beat up on him.
Come fight me.
Before we do that... That's bullshit. Did he feint me? Double bullshit, fuck you! Triple fuck you, game. My Ring Garland shield will carry me through. I was wondering what that was. Quit anti-ing my bullshit, fuck you. Okay, that still was following me? More bullshit. Fuck you. Little wiener man. Triple fuck off, dude. The fact that that's just there to be like, oh yeah, you flurry rushed? Nah, you didn't. Hopefully he won't be able to backflip out of this. He was just fuck you. I hate that. Let me do my shit. I hate. Oh boy, no opportunity to hit. None at all. Impossible boss, impossible boss. Bad design. It just doesn't feel like they gave me enough Sundelions. They should have put them in the depths, obviously. Yeah, it's just very annoying. There's like, oh yeah, we're gonna anti your flurry rush. It's just like, why? Why punish the player for playing your game? It's just, it doesn't feel good. Oh, but it's challenge. Yeah, but it doesn't fucking feel good. And you know what? Probably eat that first. Dang it.
How about this?
Dang it. Just need to get good at my dodges. That's all I need to do. Get good at dodges. Dang it. Just horrible miss on my part. At least that one went faster, didn't get hit nearly as much. And now it is just dodge him until allies come, then focus him.
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Because then my allies will... Oh, he's gonna... Yeah. I was like, oh... I knew which way was gonna do it, but I just didn't get to my... Dang it. Let me guess, you're gonna dodge out of this one? Oh, no, you didn't. Miraculous. I wonder if it's a thing that if you destroy his clones, he doesn't get nearly as much power. I think that'd be cool.
It's time to finish it off.
I was attacking your clone. That was just me flailing around. Get out of here. I do kind of like that he purely focuses on Link. I killed some of his clones. Go ahead and do that. Oh, dang it. Darn it. Oh, dang it. I was gonna try. Okay, now you're gonna dodge. It seems like sometimes he does it really fast and other times a bit slow. I still feel like you shouldn't be able to flurry out of that. Dang it. Very rude game. That shouldn't be able to destroy my shield. Dang it. Maybe if I dodge it now. Dang it. And he keeps changing his weapon so frequently. I understand its strategy. And now he'll come in with a horizontal sweep. There we go. Where are you gonna come? No. Beside my block. Are you gonna come with me at the chop? Nope. At least this one is a bit easier. Dang it. Come on, give me a horizontal sweep. Will you dodge out of this too? No, you just have to out-flurry him once. Oh. There we go, out-flurry him once. So in a way, it's kind of worth it to bait out a flurry and not out-flurry him twice. I find it funny that you... Oh, hey, he went to the pose again. His hair's keeping him standing. What you gonna do? You're also immortal. Well, I guess you're... Are you gonna rip off your face? What are you gonna... Fruit gummy? Do you even know what that does? Sure, like, you weren't there to hear, like, oh, it turns you into a dragon, but...
Everything. Sacrifice it all to destroy you. And cast this world into
When...
eternal night.
Where did you learn about eating the fruit gummy? But when does Link become dragon? That way everybody of the Triforce become... Oh, those eyes! Link, you have to become a dragon and then have a dragon off with Ganon Dragon. Draganon. That went so well you didn't even notice the main gimmick. He wasn't just glooming your hearts, he was destroying them. Oh, no, I noticed the first time. It's just that all my hearts were gloom, so it didn't matter. So I didn't bother to comment on it. So it's just like, oh yeah, it's destroying my hearts. But there's nothing I can do about it. I can't anti his gloom. But then, that one went so much better. I had to outgloom him only once. With my only anti-gloom. Little disappointed that the friend sages didn't help me too much. But at the same time, 1v1ing Final Destination Ganon. Quite fun. And now we have to fight him as a dragon. What fun! Really, that Lionel would have been more of a final boss. Just a giant gloom dragon Ganondorf. I guess we're like, man, we kind of already used the giant floating evil evil Ganon monster. What do? Turn him into a dragon. He almost looks majestic if he wasn't so evil. Draconified Demon King. Demon Dragon! Not even Ganon Dragon, a Demon Dragon. And we're still in his mouth. Oh hey, Zelda Dragon, you here to help? Again, this is why Link needs to become dragon. For the ultimate dragon battle. Also, it's kind of funny. This means that there are 5 different, like, forms of Ganon across Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. And most of them were just different forms of Ganondorf. Mummy Ganondorf, normal Ganondorf, Super Saiyan Ganondorf. Time for Dragon Duel. You know what they should have done? Ganondorf should have become a Western dragon. Against these Eastern, like, Dragon Zelda, Western Dragon Ganondorf. Oh, and if you didn't get the Master Sword, this is where you'd get it automatically. That's actually kind of cool. I guess there would be a quick cutscene of you yanking it out of her skull. Oh. Guess I'm waiting for my opportunity. For my chance to blow. Maybe I need to skydive down at him. And hit these weak points. I ran right into that. Let's quickly see. Not very rude. He's running me over. There we go. That'd be ironic, given Zelda in general was European and Gandalf was very Western themed with his samurai vibes. Or like you probably meant Eastern themed with his samurai vibes. But I think it would have fit. It would have been interesting. His chicken leg hit me. Very rude. But considering that, like, the other dragons are already Eastern-inspired, I think it would have been very interesting and kind of thematic if the Ganon dragon was the other kind of iconic dragon design. And I will say, vastly prefer this over Calamity Ganon Pig. This is a much better evil monster form of the big bad. Granted, I'm also not trying to shoot bomb arrows at him in the rain. Oh! I did a Mario leap! Yahoo! But I also really like that it's not just like, oh, Zelda became a dragon because they mentioned it at the beginning. But even Ganondorf did. Still wonder where he learned that, because he didn't have, like, a Minoru to teach him how the Secret Stones had their taboo. Do wonder how he learned it. I'm coming for your scar. Kind of interesting how his more gloomy, like, kind of open pores don't gloom me, but his scales do. Oh, and now, you know, considering that he can, like, summon an entire blood moon, I'm kind of surprised that Dragon Ganon isn't tweaking out on superpower. Then again, I think this might be him tweaking out on his superpower. Are we gonna fight him on the moon? Where are you? Great music, by the way. I'm gunning for you, Ganon. Gunning for you. Although you have to admire his conviction. He was like, I'm gonna win, even if I have to turn myself into a dragon. Although you'd think that, becoming a dragon would be like the win condition. Like, I want to become a dragon for the power. No blood moon for you. What's gonna happen now? Because it was on your forehead. Which is actually kind of interesting. Also kind of sad that we have to destroy Sonya's Secret Stone for this. Final attack! Placing the Master Sword into a different dragon's skull. Now, the real question is Zelda gonna remain a dragon, or is she going to get reverted somehow? Wonderful cinematography. Multiple kinds of blood. Golden blood. Blacky, reddy blood. What is everybody at Lookout Landing thinking when they're seeing this? Or like everybody across Hyrule. Seeing a dragon duking it out. Are you trying to ascend into the sky? He's gonna explode, Zelda style. Whoa! Whoa! He died like a nuke! Jesus! Destroy Ganondorf? We sure did. There's the earth-shattering kaboom. Rauru's like, I get to take my arm back now, Link. Or, what is it? Did he literally take his arm back? He was like, oh, I was actually healing your arm. But he took his clothes! Bastard! Is this like a dreamland? We must awaken the dragon. Oh, hey, even Sonia's here. Zelda Spirit's doing Zelda Spirit stuff. Because they're sages, and we had like multiple vows of sages with the power of secret stones. Are they going to reverse time on Zelda and turn her back to normal? I don't care if it's a Deus Ex Machina, even though she probably should have been at least a little bit draconic when she came back. But we have to protect the Zelda brand. The Zelda's Lullaby theme playing in the background there. Ah, I took my super arm. But all my rings and vows. Like, actually, is everybody gonna keep their secret stones? That'd be kind of neat. Wake up, Link. Or in this case, pass out, Link. Fall back into orbit. The music, it hits. You have to catch Zelda. And then I have no idea how you'll get back down to the ground. Hey, Toolin! Oh, this is gonna be a playable! I'm coming, Zelda! We will not let you die! Dear God, this is so high up. Maybe it's just the lack of sky islands. It feels like we're higher up than we've ever been before. Like the da-da-da theme along with the Zelda theme. This again. Take a hold. That was very satisfying. I'm sorry, a lake would not save us. A lake would not save us. Concrete. And from that height, we would have been, even if it wasn't concrete water, we would have been sent straight to the bottom of that lake. That would have to be a deep lake. I wonder, how much of those years as a dragon does she remember? That's over 10,000 years as a dragon.
Link, how are you?
What do you mean, how am I? Was it just like yesterday that you swallowed that secret stone, and you got it back, too? Rauru's secret stone. And the Master Sword.
We reached you, after all. He's gone. The Demon King. I'm not in a dream, right?
You're very much awake. Unless this was Zelda's Awakening.
Oh, Link, you really did it.
Zelda's Awakening, where she dreamed Link on this adventure.
How am I?
Deus Ex Machina by Zonai Hyrulean shenanigans, but we take those.
No, I understand. I had been sleeping all this time.
That's some hell of a kind of sleepwalking. Oh, and Hyrule Castle's still up there.
Like a warm, loving embrace. I woke up.
Hey, get the Rito over here. They can do some wonderful architecture on that castle right now. Maybe build you some stairs.
Thank you. Link, I met such wonderful people. I saw Hyrule as it was.
It was fantastic, wasn't it?
So much to tell you. So much happened. Oh, Link. I'm home.
That you are. And now, hopefully, Hyrule... Oh, that's good. That's good. It's free real estate. The Rito, probably. And maybe Zora, if they can get to the waterfalls. Come to think of it, the waterfalls probably should have ran dry, unless it's being piped up through that pillar. The Legend of Zelda. We better get some, like, check-ins on everybody, all the sages. Tears of the Kingdom. That was very nice. We'll let the credits roll. See what cool art and stuff and moments they highlight. While I give my thoughts. Then, after the credits, I will image search the Shrine 100%, like, completion bonus of the Zonai armor, because I heard that's interesting, and I want to look at it, even though I will not get to it myself. That would be a lot. A lot. And thus boy met girl. Oh no, not again. Not completely wrong. I will say, this was very good. It's kind of hard to, because, like, obviously I'm comparing it to Breath of the Wild. But I don't know which one I prefer more. I think I prefer, like, the Ultra Hand stuff is vastly superior to the runes. And... But I do think that, at least when it comes to... I forgot how, like, even though it's horrible, terrible for them, Winter Rito Village is such a vibe. It is such a vibe. Love the Rito. Love that, like, also, Tulin has a wonderful design. I need to draw Tulin. The Rito are just so good. I'm glad that they got, like, one of the better temples and, like, kind of stories. I do think that the Gerudo had over, like, I'm trying to think. I think overall, my personal ranking on the, like, weather phenomena storyline is Gerudo is number 1 because of the town defense, you raising the temple from the sands. Love this music. Then I think Rito is the second because it's such a vibe. The story of the Stormwind arc. And just, like, the temple just felt nice to do. Third would be Gerudo because frickin' Yunobo became a drug lord, which is hilarious. And then, sadly, the Zora get 4th place because it wasn't really a temple. And it was only, like, a little bit going on. Though I do like the character stuff for Sidon and his fiancée. From YouTube chat. Wait, do you think Zelda 3 will come out? Probably, like, doubtful, because it feels like Tears of the Kingdom definitively gave a nice end to everything. And while I do think that they will make a Breath of the Wild style Zelda game again in the future, I don't think it'll be set in the same Hyrule. Which means we probably won't get more Rito. I hope Rito become a staple, like Zelda race, like the Goron and the Zora arm. I just want more of them. They're so good. I love Sidon's motif. It's so good. I think as a whole I prefer Breath of the Wild, even if I think the highs of Tears of the Kingdom are better. Maybe. Maybe. Because it's hard, because there's so many... It's kind of like a... I'm trying to think of how to word it. Breath of the Wild is simpler, as in there isn't as many systems coming at you at once. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom has a lot of systems. And like you said, the highs are very high. But it does feel like the fluff, as it were, in Tears of the Kingdom is less interesting. I feel like this is the end for now of this Hyrule. Probably. Like, maybe they could do some kind of, like, small tier spin-off, but it wouldn't be like this again. There won't be another open-air, open-world Zelda game in this Hyrule again. And I don't think that there would even be another big spin-off like Hyrule Warriors again, because it doesn't feel like there's any more. Like, if you think about it, we did get 3 games in this Hyrule. We have Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, and Tears of the Kingdom. And it's just like, I don't feel like there's much else to do, else it just feels like they'd be milking it. But I do think, well, I do hope that they bring back this kind of, like, Gerudo, the Gerudos who are like, we still don't let men into our village, but we want to, like, have good relations with Hyrule. Like, I want that kind of Gerudo back again. It's a nice upgrade to the original Gerudo who are just bandits. And again, really, really hope that we get more Rito, because this iteration of the Rito is just so good. And I really, really hope that we get more of them. But, yeah, I don't know which one I prefer, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Because, personally, not really that much of a fan of the gloom, even if I was just terrible at preparing. Because the depths aren't that interesting to traverse after a while. I didn't really engage with the Zonai construct creation all that much. Because outside of the hover bike, which I never learned to create, because I didn't want to look it up and basically get a one forever good go. But it just felt like even if you just wanted to create, like, Zonai cars and not bother with horses, like, your battery wouldn't be up to snuff. And then, like, 9 times out of 10, you'll just glide places. This is an interesting beat. I will refute the criticism people levied at it. It's like, oh, they make you go over the overworld of Hyrule again. It's just like, not really. The overworld is vastly changed compared to Breath of the Wild. It's just that with gliding, you don't have much reason to traverse the overworld. Ta-da! I don't know if it was truly intended, but it feels like a trilogy. Breath of the Wild being wisdom, Age being power, and Tears being courage, with each even having the color motifs. Kinda, yeah. Because, like, Breath of the Wild is about, like, traversing discovery a lot more. But I guess you could, like... I do like that they're just, like, showing all the handshake scenes. Hey, but that's not my arm. I didn't wear the champion tunic. It was Rito all the way. But... yeah, it was just very interesting. Personally, I like the depths the most out of the 3 locales. For me, it's just like... I think it was because my last real experience with the depths was the Koga tracking. And the last 2 places Koga goes to are places locked off by water, and it's a little finicky to get to those locations. At least with the Zora location, it was just like find the crack in the wall, not too bad. And then the Rito location justified all other depths like traversal, except maybe the little hint you got from the previous like Zora abandoned mine, like steward who was like, normally there are like 2 chasms to a place, but this one only has 1. Weird, huh? But I just didn't think to get to the surface and track it down. I already said once before, the majority of the traversal of the overworld was yeeting myself. Mostly the same, yeah. Breath of the Wild is 100% Zelda's story through and through, at the very least. Yeah, it feels like Breath of the Wild was Zelda's story, and... like, while Tears of the Kingdom is also kind of Zelda's story, it's also kind of Ganondorf's and a little bit Link's, too. With all the going around and actually meeting his friends. Ooh, cutscene. I'll take cutscene. Oh, everybody! Everybody's here. How did we get him up here? I'm always down.
I can't believe such an impressive landmass
For
can
more
float in the sky.
Sage interactions.
Just when I thought I'd started to figure the Zonai out.
Does this mean that the Zonai architecture doesn't disappear like the Sheikah? I find it kind of funny that Tulin's like, I'll fly. I won't walk.
Everyone, I am glad I was able to bring you all here. I wanted to share this view of Hyrule with all of you.
Whoa. I've never been this far up before, Goro.
Wow, what a sight it is. And Zelda, you were roaming the skies all along?
As a dragon.
Yes, although I don't really remember.
That's probably for the best. You were probably up there for like 100,000
We
years.
stand here again.
This is only a theory, but Ravu's power of light and Sonia's time power. For Zelda to transform back, they both must have channeled their abilities through you, Link.
Link the conduit.
I see.
Gonna disappear on us. Oh, Sage's spirit.
Now it seems it is my time.
Minoru!
She's been dead for
Do
over
not worry.
10,000 years, Zelda.
You have overcome the burden my era left to you. You have proven yourself, and you no longer need me. I know I can move on, join Rauru and the others, and the world will be safe.
You saddened the bird. How dare. What is it, Tulin?
Those of us gathered here swear on our lives to support Princess Zelda and...
They simultaneously messed it up. But that was cute.
To support Princess Zelda and safeguard the land of Hyrule.
Meanwhile, Link didn't say it. Would be weird if that was the only time Link had a voice, though. Granted, he doesn't have a secret stone, so I guess it doesn't count. He doesn't have to make a vow.
Rauru and Sonia will be happy to hear of this.
But Minoru,
them know just how much you care.
It's like the game knows me. Tulin's in every shot.
Thank you all.
I feel like this would have more impact if Minoru was kind of your companion throughout the game. And her construct was, like, part of, like, a bit more of the game. Like, I don't know. Just her being the last sage. Oh, that's just sad. It's just her being the last sage. Just makes that not hit as much as it could have. But yeah, that's like, in a way, Zelda's oldest friend dying there. Again.
King Rauru, Queen Sonia, Minoru. The ancient sages. They wished not only to save Hyrule from the Demon King, but for it to see eternal peace. I will dedicate myself to that goal.
I love whenever classic Zelda motifs come
Now,
into the score.
and for all time. My friends, with all of your strength, stand with me.
Of course. But I just realized that Zelda had to, like, once again spend a ton of time in a pseudo-stasis. This Zelda just can't catch a break. She consistently has to be at time periods where everybody she loves dies. And then she waits back to the present. Pura being here at the end just made me further think she might have taken the mantle of the Sage's spirit. I feel taunted. Does kind of feel like that. Which he kind of was, but not evident since she was meant to be the one making the slate guide you and all. Yeah. It's just that she wasn't there the entire time. Now, how do we get down? Yunobo, probably. Indeed. But overall, before we go to look, like, image search the shrine armor, I guess I'll overall give my thoughts. I think this is a fantastic game. I do think they could have managed the split of the player's attention between, like, the Sky Islands, the depths, and the surface a bit better. Because, like, for the most part, I didn't really feel like I had much incentive to go to Sky Islands all that much, except for traversal. And, like, again, I can only imagine that the sages will, like, a thing that you get 4 of and then take to a statue for upgrades, I assume. Like, I only found that in my last 6 hours of gameplay. I really wish that they put a again, it probably wouldn't work because you wouldn't have a sage by then, but I just feel like if what they should have done is had a sage's vow, like, will thing in each of the temples. There you're going through and you're like, oh, turn this in for more power, and be like, oh, maybe there's more out there. Or just, like, something to tell the player, this exists, go out there. Because I just didn't run across them. Again, didn't really dive too deeply into Sky Islands, but it's just baffling that I didn't come across any for so long. Kind of similar to the, like, little, oh, hey, marks in the depths. Didn't do those too much. I got the Twilight Tunic, which is win for me. And again, wasn't that big a fan of depths traversal. I do think it was the more interesting place compared to the Sky Islands because it was so all-encompassing. But while it was interesting, it was still a little annoying to traverse to me. Which, again, could probably just be bias because my last experience was the Koga hunting down. I feel this guy should have been more fleshed out for being the main thing in the marketing. It was very sparse. I feel that. It definitely feels like the opening tutorial set Sky Islands to be much more interesting than they are. I feel my summary is Tears of the Kingdom feels like too much. Maybe. I personally think it's not too much, just how it's presented and given to the player isn't clean enough. But I do love the Skyview Towers. Granted, that's one part, it's a really cool animation and a cool way to get the map. And the other is traversal. Which, in the later hours, it does feel like you're just gliding from place to place. Especially when I was trying to get the translation stones. But in a way, that was also kind of fun. I just wish that there was, like, some kind of balancing to it. They deliberately placed Sage Wills in way out-of-the-way locations. That's funny. At least they're not, like, super-duper important, because Roto said that they think it was mostly just cooldown reduction, which wouldn't be that bad. Its highs are very high, but I feel Breath of the Wild is more consistently good. I feel that, but one thing that Tears of the Kingdom utterly demolishes Breath of the Wild in is story. Personally, I think the story is so much better told than Breath of the Wild's. And that's mostly because while the, like, memories in Breath of the Wild are good, you sadly don't get that much time with the champions, and most of it is optional. So the story is very sparse for the most part in Breath of the Wild. Whereas here, it felt like there was a more consistent story. You go to Lookout Landing, there's more characters out and about, and just like, it feels like there's more story, more characters, more moments. And like, just like being able to go to a place and get a good cutscene with the characters just feels nice. I think that's what they did. I might have been wrong, and I'm free to be corrected on any of the Sage Wills. Yeah, but like, personally, I prefer Tears of the Kingdom's story and presentation to Breath of the Wild. Just personally. I'm trying to think what else. The Dragon Tears were a good collectible. They were basically a successor to the memories in Breath of the Wild. Very good. And then the Ultra Hand powers surpass the runes for me. They're just much more versatile and interesting. I do think that the Zonai machines and constructs are very cool, but, like, the lack of battery unless you grinded for batteries, and the very niche application of them just made me not, like, engage as much. From YouTube chat, I kind of get that, but I take Breath of the Wild as being a deep character story and Tears of the Kingdom to be more a grand story, whilst kind of sacrificing the character story for Zelda, who I felt was a bit undercooked. Like, honestly, I think I didn't notice it that much because Zelda got a lot of stuff with the memories and going back to the past, becoming a dragon, and I felt like her character part was more in Breath of the Wild. Her character stuff was more in Breath of the Wild, and her doing stuff was more in Tears of the Kingdom. And personally, I just prefer Tears of the Kingdom's story due to the fact that the sages do play a big role. 'Cause, like, basically the best example I can give is the Divine Beast of Rito Village Vaumedo in Breath of the Wild is such a basic quest and kind of lame. You just go about, talk to people, you shoot bombs at Valmetto, and then you're on the Divine Beast. Which, granted, and meanwhile, all of the other Divine Beasts at least have something. Zora's Domain in Breath of the Wild is kind of a more linear romp. You get more character with Sidon. It's characters who, like, lived in the Calamity, so there's a connection to Link. Then the Gerudo, there's a little quest of getting into Gerudo Town. Then you hunt down the Yiga to get the Thunder Helm. Then you get on to the Divine Beast. Then it's an entire adventure to get to Death Mountain itself, and helping, what's the word I'm looking for? The escort quest with Yunobo to get to the Divine Beast is a lot more interesting. But here, all of the, like, aside from Zora's Domain a little bit, like, all of the sages, all of the temples, all of the weather phenomena feel like mini little arcs. Whereas a lot of the Divine Beast quests just felt like a thing to do. So it's probably, for me, the flow and presentation of the story feels better in Tears of the Kingdom. Especially because it is the present-day story that's getting a decent amount of fleshing out, and then the millennia ago imprisoning war story also gets a good amount of focus. Whereas in Breath of the Wild, you only really get focus on the 100 years ago stuff. I honestly feel Zelda in Breath of the Wild's character is firmly rooted in how she is useful as she is because of what she as a person can do, which I don't think was depicted here. Guess that's true. To a degree. Because really, yeah, Zelda doesn't, like, do too much. Or at least we don't see her do too much. She does learn a bit of time magic with the Secret Stone, but it's mostly just little character stuff with the flashing back to the Zonai era. Especially with her usage of her new time powers, yeah. They were only there in, like, one memory, I think. But I also think that's mostly because a lot of her, she's as good as she is in Breath of the Wild, was already told, so they figured, like, oh, we don't really need to, like, give Zelda that big of a character arc, especially when a part of her character arc is, like, kind of accepting that her coming to the past, like, when it comes to the imprisoning war didn't change anything, but when it's preparing Link to fight the Demon King in the modern era, that's why she was sent back. But can definitely understand, like, feeling that Zelda wasn't given as much as she could have in this. Meanwhile, I personally see it like, oh, we get to see Zelda in the past, talking with characters, kind of doing things. But we also get a lot in the present day. We get to touch in with a bunch of characters we know and get little cutscenes with them. They join us on our journey. Which, again, like, I know it was done for, like, gameplay purposes. They literally couldn't have Sidon, Yunobo, Tulin, and, I forget her name. My brain is just skipping. I completely forget it. But, like, I definitely understand why you couldn't have all the sages actually just follow Link. It had to be their vows. But I just think that would have been cooler. Basically, the bits where they come in to help. Well, at the same time, though, it would also weaken the moments where they bust in to help you fight the Phantom Ganons and then bust in to help you fight Ganondorf's army. Now, Ganondorf, on the other hand, was an excellent villain and portrayal of the character. Yep. Because I feel like with Calamity Ganon, they were going for Ganon the Pig Wizard kind of lost his mind and just becomes like a force of nature. Although they kind of sort of rolled that back a degree with Age of Calamity, where he's still kind of plotting and thinking, not too much raging out. And here, you very much like get a good sense of Ganondorf. A little bit crazy that he can just pluck out a secret stone and become the most powerful thing to ever exist. And a little bit weird that they don't, like, at least in the main story and what I experienced, didn't explicitly tie this Ganondorf to Calamity Ganon. Like, they didn't draw a complete comparison. Because it's almost like, to a degree, that Calamity Ganon is a remnant of Ganondorf's powers, like, raging out. But then it's just kind of funny how everyone forgot about the imprisoning war. And they're like, oh no, Calamity Ganon, we must create ancient Magitech. And then 10,000 years down the line, they're like, yeah, we remember Calamity Ganon, but the Demon King? Nobody knows the Demon King. It is just kind of funny in a way that in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, oopsie doopsie, the ancient evil of Ganon is returning. Better turn to the ancient aliens tech. It can be assumed that Calamity Ganon comes from the seal on him weakening, but that can't be entirely it because Calamity Ganon is its own thing. Like, it became a giant pig monster. So, like, I can only assume that it's like the malice energy that was like torn off of Ganondorf by Rauru kind of coalesced underneath Hyrule Castle and lashed out is kind of what I feel it. And then like but this is basically just getting into the weeds of like what is the lore here? But personally, I can't really decide which I prefer more, because I like them both for different reasons. Like, both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild just have good things. Like, it's just hard to tell. Because I do feel like combat is harder in Tears of the Kingdom for some reason, but that could just be me sucking. There's definitely some fucky lore due to this game probably being made to fit rather than being pre-planned. That's true. I do wonder how this game would have been if they went through with the original plan of having it be another expansion. Because this whole thing is like, oh, we're going to make another expansion, and then it just ballooned. Kind of like Silk Song. Poor Silk Song, except this came out. But yeah, I honestly, because like you said, Breath of the Wild is a more consistent experience, while Tears of the Kingdom has better highs. Personally, though, I think that Age of Calamity is still the better story. Because we get to spend more time with Ravioli. But I guess now's as time as ever. Let me rearrange. And see what the Zonai armor looks like, if it is indeed this. If this is the Zonai armor. No, it's the Zonite armor. Yeah, that's true. I guess let me try and find... Because, like, what's its actual name so I can look at it better? Unless that is it, which... kind of get Mayan Aztec vibes from it. Oh, here it is. And that's... oh, there we go. It looks kind of horrifying. It looks kind of creepy. Just from that. If that is the 100% completion. Look into his dead stone eyes. Look into his dead eyes. Although that kind of looks more like a Zonai Ganondorf than anything. It's very uncanny due to it made to fit his proportions. Really, it's the face for me. Not really the proportions. The proportions don't bother me none. Ancient Heroes aspect, which raises so many questions. It's very interesting, isn't it? The hidden lore that we know nothing about. He also has a tail. Can't be seen from that perspective. Not sure if I noticed any of the other Zonai having tails. But it is kind of interesting that the Ancient Heroes aspect has red hair as opposed to blonde hair. That's kind of interesting. Honestly, not sure if I actually would have used it if I even did. Like, got it all, because the face is so disturbing. But overall, I really enjoyed Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom was a very fun experience. Overall, I think I preferred my overall experience with Tears of the Kingdom compared to Breath of the Wild, but I think I would prefer replaying Breath of the Wild, if that makes sense. Tears of the Kingdom, I think, at least to me, is a better first-time experience, because you get wrapped up in the bombastic, like, experience, the grandeur, the presentation. And again, it could just be my bias because we actually get to spend time with the sages and actually have them with us on the ride to the temple and in the temple in the boss fights, rather than just, we're gonna help you get on the divine beast. As I said, I feel they oversold when initially mentioning it due to how weird it is. That's true. The Zonai aspect armor. But still, honestly, it was more than I expected. It's just the face. The face is kind of fish-eyed. But yeah, I really can't decide which one I like more, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. It's like hard to... It's kind of like Xenoblade 1 versus Xenoblade 2. They have pros and cons in different categories. But overall, I think, personally, my favorite out of the whole Breath of the Wild, timeline, is probably not most people's choice, but it is Age of Calamity for me. Purely because it tells, it's the most story. Call me a basic bitch, but I enjoy a story. Give me good characters, give me a good story. That's all I really care about. Gameplay can be nice. Which is good to some degree, that they have differences enough to pick a favorite. Which is kind of funny. Their differences are so different, I don't know if I can pick a favorite. Because, Breath of the Wild is more low-key, while Tears of the Kingdom is more grand. There is a nice, almost nostalgic at this point vibe to the Sheikah technology and the Sheikah shrines. But Tears of the Kingdom has, the better, villain and the better modern story. The divine beasts are fine, but the temples are just more unique and interesting to me. It could also be my liking of Age of Calamity could be twisting my like of Breath of the Wild a little bit, in that I don't like super duper really like the memories in Breath of the Wild as much, because there is Age of Calamity, which is basically that but more. And I just really like the Dragon Tier memories in this game. We all know it's because of extra thick Impa. Oddly enough, I prefer, like, Impa's gameplay nice, but I don't ever think I ever looked at Age of Calamity Impa and went like, ah, she thick. No, not really. Really, the most thick ones there were Revali and Teba. Getting time with the OG champions in Age of Calamity is great. Can't disagree. And again, that's probably why I slightly prefer the story of Tears of the Kingdom, because we actually get time with the sages. Not much time, but at least they actually get a big damn heroes moment. Kind of twice. Kind of 3 times, because they do bust in to fight the Demon King with you. Whereas, sadly, like, technically you sort of get that if you do all the Divine Beasts in Breath of the Wild and they shoot and carve off half of Calamity Ganon's health bar. But it's just not the same. I preferred how out of the way and how much you had to hunt for the memories in Breath of the Wild. That's fair. Because it is kind of like, come get a dragon tier here with the geoglyphs. I love that Revali just has infinite freaking bombs. Infinibombs. It's the Rito staple. They got the bombs. But yeah, I really can't really choose between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. Oh, but I do really appreciate that Tears of the Kingdom has a little bit of connectivity to Breath of the Wild, so that if you go back to your Hateno village house after doing the expansion champion ballad in Breath of the Wild, the champion ballad picture is there. I do appreciate that. Granted, that could just be a thing that's there, because like, oh, this is what canonically Link did, but considering that they had my horse from Breath of the Wild, Castle, never pulled him out, I don't think. Kind of assume that is a carryover, I assume. Comparing the pictures to the world was some of the most fun I had in Breath of the Wild compared to the blatantly signposted tiers. Completely fair. It is a little bit more, like, fun hunting down the picture memories. I think I had a little bit more fun with the tiers than other people, because I tried to, like, match the geoglyph locations on the, like, the map that you find in that temple, and, like, created my own system using the markers to be like, it's kind of in this area. So I definitely can see that I probably had a little bit more fun with the geoglyphs than other people. I wish the champions were acknowledged more in tiers. Only Mipha is given any actual acknowledgement. Urbosa is mentioned a little bit by Riju, where she's like, oh, Urbosa, give me your power. Meanwhile, I don't think Daruk or Revali are mentioned once. I think I read that Revali is only mentioned in the Great Eagle Bow description, which is just sad. It hurts me. He is the best bird boy until Tulin came along. But at the same time, I kind of understand why they didn't. Because aside from Mipha having a bit more purpose to her, because, again, Sidon is a very important character in this game, so of course Mipha will kind of tie in with him and his trauma, the others don't have any, like, aside from being kind of legendary figures, when it comes to these, like, catastrophes that are currently happening, those legendary figures aren't as important unless they were, like, directly tied to people. Because, like, Riju is directly connected to Urbosa, so he's like kind of invoke Urbosa to be like, give me power, even your legacy. Whereas Mipha and her death still kind of haunting Sidon was a part of his character arc, but Daruk and Rivali just don't really have much to it. Which again, I completely understand, mostly because we have Age of Calamity. We have our time with the champions in Age of Calamity. So I can't get too mad that they didn't focus on the champions as much. Which, granted though, they could have maybe put like a little side conversation in. No idea where that would be for Daruk. But I could maybe see some of the some of the Rito going, like, I wonder how Rivali would have handled this weather. Because in Breath of the Wild, you did have Rito basically say that Rivali is almost a cultural icon due to the fact that, like, oh yeah, the stories of Rivali are kind of the reason why all the male Rito want to become great warriors. Urbosa was busted, meanwhile Riju power lame. I think I used Riju's power more than I did Urbosa's. Granted, I didn't use many powers in Breath of the Wild because Brain was like, no, it is too valuable, can't use. But I can understand, to a degree, liking each one. Then there's the standing MacGuffins that were the sages of old. Yeah, the sages of old, like, kind of got... It's kind of like a sliding scale, where in Breath of the Wild, the champions kind of got some focus. The modern champions got a little less focus than the old champions. And then Age of Calamity, the old champions got a lot of focus. The new champions got a little bit less focus. Here, the new sages got a lot of focus, but then the old sages got none. I think it's because they didn't have much time to really work with things. Because the champions in Breath of the Wild were important even though they were dead. Whereas the sages, they couldn't really justify, like, story budget to be like, here's, like, a dragon tier memory of Zelda meeting the Goron sage. It's just like, the old sages were important enough that they had to be there and play a part, but they weren't important enough to devote any more time budget to. And, I'm trying to think of how to say, it's just kind of like, and if we had to choose between having more time with the modern sages versus the old sages, I would take the modern sages. Definitely still feel like the old sages are a bit of wasted potential, though. But I do appreciate the kind of old champion cameos through them, as if I do recall, each of the old sages is voiced by the old champion. Basically, like, Rivali's voice actor voiced the Sage of Wind. Urbosa's voice actor voices the Sage of Lightning, and that, at least I think. I guess, but I wish they had a minimum, had designs, yeah, they got that Adam treatment from Xenoblade 2. Which really they feel generic as can be besides the masks that dominate their designs. Yep. Definitely feel ya there. It is kind of a part of the issue where they have so many important characters that, like, dedicating story and time budget to them was probably running out. At least we know in Zelda, everyone's canonically furries. I mean, Minoru is nice. I do kind of find it funny that they're like, we're gonna create, like, a new race of, like, kind of demigod characters, and the Zonai are, like, peak furry. As well as the Rito getting an overhaul to be peak furry as well. Hilarious. Or hell, their cutscenes having some relevance to them. I don't know, meeting with Zelda at some point rather than the same scene 4 times over. Yeah, but the problem is, like, story-wise, I'm not sure how well they would put that in. Because, like, if they are the old sage and they're supposed to be relaying this important information to the new sage of, like, here's the imprisoning war, here's the vow, here's your duty, like, there isn't much room to then put in, like, here's the sage's first meeting with Zelda. I do think that would have been nice, but it would also be a little jarring. The cutscenes in Breath of the Wild were electric. Meanwhile, the tears in this one, flashbacks, were so weak. I really missed the cutscenes. They were so informative and nice. I kind of, like, it depends, because I really do enjoy, like, the dragon tear memories. Especially because they do kind of tell the story of the rise of Ganondorf. But aside from Rauru, Sonya, and Minoru, and I guess Ganondorf, there aren't really that many characters Zelda interacts with in the past. I think by the time I finished the Lightning Temple, the third I did, I kind of just tuned out mentally when it really hit, this really is nothing new, is it? Which, for me at least, really took me out of the story and immersion. Completely fair. They definitely should have done something, but I can't think of anything that, unless the sages, like, it's hard to really note down, like, what they could have really done to make it interesting and different with each one, while also having to tell the new sage about the imprisoning war. Because all of the sages lived past the imprisoning war, so it's not like they have desolate information that must be passed on. So it's like, it is kind of a design issue. Just felt like, I beat the boss, time to go get a drink. The Lightning Temple in both games were pretty lit, though. Yeah, the Lightning Temple, I think, is probably my favorite temple because it's just kind of interesting and different. The Gibdos just changed the vibe entirely. Though as a personal biased favorite, the Stormwind arc will forever be peak. And from YouTube chat, hi, hello, hello. I'm just giving my final thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom. But I probably don't have that much left. Again, just like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild are good in such different ways, but it probably is, like, Breath of the Wild, like, there isn't a major dip anywhere in Breath of the Wild. The story in the past is really solid, the characters are really solid. Like, I wish there was more story to the modern stuff and the modern champions, but, like, that's more of a hindsight thing that I'm like, huh, that is kind of basic and not all that fleshed out, huh? But overall, everything works for Breath of the Wild, whereas there are definite issues that you can pick out with Tears of the Kingdom while you play it. But again, it's just like, it has so many cool additions, and it's mostly... I'm just trying to think. Mostly, in trying to do more story, I think cracks showed just a bit more. But overall, I really, really liked both Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. But if I had to replay one of them, I probably would pick Breath of the Wild, or I would take my time a bit more with Tears of the Kingdom. The one thing that I did, like, a lot in the beginning and then never again was helping Addison. Because just, like, eventually I'm just like, I don't really care to help Addison stay up a sign of the Bolson Construction Company for the 10th time. Never did use any of the sleepover coupons, I don't think. Higher highs, just the average was lower. I'm not even sure if it was the average was lower for me. It's just that the lows were more noticeable and broke immersion a bit more. Whereas Breath of the Wild was just such a consistent, through. Tears of the Kingdom, probably because the highs are so high, when you get to the lows, they're just that much more noticeable. The falls are all the higher. It's like you fell from a sky island into the depths. But yeah, overall, my ranking personally is I cannot decide between Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but Age of Calamity will forever be the best game, because it is absolutely fanfic, and it is just great. Gameplay might not be all that fleshed out, and it might be a bit grindy in some places, but the story is so good, we get so much character. But I don't think that I have much else to say for Tears of the Kingdom, which means that shall be that. I will contest that and simply say Twilight simply because it was my first Zelda, though if I say number 2, Tears of the Kingdom, I was more talking about, in the realm of the Breath of the Wild timeline, because it's been years since I played the other Zelda, so I can't reliably place them against Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity, since those are the games I played most recently, and it's just been years since I played Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and stuff. I definitely mean to get to some of those games. Not sure about some of the 2D ones, because I've only ever played, I think, the original NES Zelda and then the Oracle's games. Need to give the other 2D Zeldas a shot, but I'm definitely going to play Ocarina, Majora, Twilight, Wind Waker, and Skyward Sword. Midna for the win. Midna is the absolute best Zelda character. At least the very best Zelda, companion character. I got real attached to the Rito in this game. We'll have to see how Midna stacks up when I actually go back to play Twilight Princess. But yes, I do believe that shall be that for now. But stick around, because I have a little special announcement for the next game we're going to play. I'm just going to quickly do my general outro spiel, and then you'll get to see something cool. At least I think. Yeah, I think it's cool. But I'm not a bastion of objectivity. But yes, thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you liked what you saw, I try to stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. My Linktree holds links to everything that I do. Streaming Twitch, streaming YouTube, depending on your preference. My edited content YouTube channel. I swear, videos will be made eventually. Sites that I upload art to, and sites that I upload writing to, because both are very fun. But next time, we have a very special game. And I made a special little announcement for it. So, here you go. Next time,
Oh, I'm Silas. Glad to meet you.
we
I'll be
return
Locke from now
to
on.
a series
I'm Gabriel.
that is dear to my
You're
heart.
more than anything.
And next
Please
time,
have a good life.
we go back
One last favor.
to where it
Until you
all
cry.
began.